Zero Time Dilemma coming out in the 28th of June. It's 2 days from now. I don't know. It's probably going to be uploaded on Monday. But in 2 days from now, and we've been waiting for nearly 4 years for this game to happen. 4 years, man. Well, 3.5, but who's counting? Like after
I'm
we,
actually surprised it happened at all.
yeah.
Thank you, Punchline. You and your panty shots saved video games.
Okay. You're gonna have to explain. I don't follow.
Trust me, I'll explain all of our great game creator struggle to get this game made.
Okay, but yeah, 4 years. I mean, ever since you and I beat Virtue's Last Reward around the same time, as well as another friend of ours who's not here in this recording, we've I've been thinking to myself, God damn, how are they going to follow this up? What's going to happen? How are they going to end this? Maybe a trilogy. Everything's in trilogies nowadays, but maybe a trilogy. And then all of a sudden, like about a year or two later, they said this game may not actually be made now, and we were both like, no, no, it needs to be made. No, nah, man, nah, we
No,
love this
man,
game.
we filthy Westerners like it, not the pure great Japanese.
Yeah, apparently, from what I've gathered, both Virtue's Last Reward and its predecessor 999, I think they both sold better in the West than they have in the hometown of Japan. Um, the producers thought that the reason why 999 didn't sell so well in Japan because they had graphic detail and it's visual novel esque whenever characters got blown up into chunks. That's why Virtue's Last Reward wasn't nearly as gory as 999. Um, so but I guess that's not the case either because it didn't sell well. Virtue's Last Reward, even though I argue that you can actually get into that game without having to play 999. Um, I guess the producers were fucking wrong because it didn't sell well there either, and as a result, we didn't know if there was going to be a third game or not. People were like, fans like you and me were even like planning on throwing money at him through a crowdfunding campaign, but he was actually kind of adamant on not using it.
Hmm.
But then somehow, I think it was like a year ago, it got officially announced. Yeah, a year ago, it got officially announced that the third installment to the Zero Escape series is going to be released, and I even made a quick video about it because
Has it been a year? Time moves fast.
almost maybe 10 months, but yeah, if you were to look at my channel and find that news where I said Zero Escape 3 announced, you would see it's almost a year old. And boy, the news of that game kept coming in fast. We got sketches of character designs, and then trailers came out, and I was like, man, I thought it was gonna take them like 2 years to get this game out, but no, we are gonna get it in 2 fucking days, man. I'm hyped.
Hmm.
This is gonna be one of my game of the years. I fucking hope so.
All the theories and stuff. Jeez, even the build up to this game has been great. I've been like going to a bunch of different speculation
I've actually been
places and
I, I've been kind of avoiding the comments in the forums for the fan theories and speculations and guesses of what's going to happen. For me, when I play the game, I'm just going to go with the flow. It's best to do that anyways. And for this recording, I'm going to actually post it as you know how I made a video response to Magnus and Alex's podcast on the fact that 2016 is like a great year of gaming.
yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be an addendum to this, but I'm going to be talking about a particular franchise that came out around this era that I just really, really love, and I don't think while it does have a very sizable fan base, I don't think it gets nearly as much love from our circle, from the community, or friends. It's you and me, one other guy that knows and loves this series.
I mean, I've come to respect Uchikoshi like a lot considering all the stuff he's put up with. It's one of the reasons why we even went ahead and played Ever 17.
Yeah,
just to
the
get
work he's
that
made before getting into the Zero Escape series. He was a visual novel guy who made Ever 17 Out of the Infinity. Heard about, but I never got around to playing it. But you did. But we're.
mm, it's very him.
Hmm.
Like I felt where he got inspiration for a lot of the stuff that happened in 999 and Virtue's Last Reward just from playing that game. And maybe put me in a position where it it has the ending of Virtue's Last Reward makes sense to me.
How'd you even find out about 999? Like, what got you into the franchise?
Well, I saw it was a visual novel on the DS, and I'm like, hey, those don't exist. So I bought it.
My case was a little different. I got into the series via Virtue's Last Reward. This friend of ours, when I picked up the Vita recently, for Persona 4 Golden, um, another friend that he's not a mutual friend of ours, just a friend of mine. Though, if you two were to meet, you two would get along because you both love this series and you both love Super Sentai, so there's common ground there. Um,
Yeah.
he told me about Virtue's Last Reward, but I was kind of zoning out. He was like, "It's a sequel to this game called 999," and I saw a little bit of the trailer. I was like, it's probably another JRPG. Can't get into those unless it's Persona." Though my viewpoints have changed radically since then. However, I did see the demo at the PlayStation store, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'll just download this for shits and giggles and give it a try. And then I find out it's not an RPG at all. It's a visual novel, like you said. And I'm like, okay, is there any gameplay? And the gameplay is that it's a series of escape games, where you basically solve puzzles to get out of a room. And it is gonna transition to a thing I want to talk about in regards to this franchise and how unique it is, which is both a good and a bad thing. But I was like, holy shit, this is the puzzles were kind of brain racking difficult, but I was enjoying this. So I drove to the GameStop that the only GameStop, one of the few GameStops that give a shit about the Vita. Find like an old, probably the last copy there, physically. Picked it up, went back, played it, and it was like, wow, this is really really good. Um, Characters all interesting. Definitely love the alternate flow charts. There's alternate endings and shit. And I also love the fact that in order to progress through some of the timelines, you have to play the other timeline, so that way the characters would get like weird memory flashbacks that would trigger the event to proceed forward. I thought that was really fucking cool. And of course, you need to go through all these routes, not all of them, but you have to unlock like every other character's ending in order to get the true ending, which sets up heavily. I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but it sets up heavily for the next game that's coming out, Zero Time Dilemma. And what I love and hate about the Zero Escape games is that they're so unique. I With a visual novel aspect aside, there's not a whole lot of games where the gameplay is solve a series of puzzles to escape a room. I mean, Resident Evil partially has that, but it's mostly categorized as a survival horror. This is just strictly what you have to do in order to progress through the game. This was the gameplay, and yeah, there isn't like that. There isn't any escape games like that I see anywhere, which is both a good and a bad thing. The bad thing is that I kind of want this game to be ripped off more. I want there to be clones of this. Like, take a look at Demon Souls and Dark Souls. Those games are super popular to the point where everybody wants some of that Dark Soul money. Koei Tecmo is like making a game called Neo, which is basically Dark Souls with samurais. Salt and Sanctuary, which is a 2D Terraria esque one. Um, then even fucking Suda 51 wants some of that Dark Souls paper. I'm like, wow, it's almost going to be a new genre at this point. Kind of disappointed that there's nothing else like this for Zero Escape. Um, I still categorize it in the niche market area, though.
Hmm. I would definitely say that.
But this year, I did eventually get around to playing 999. You saw me pick up the game at a game shop. Uh,
Yeah,
just for the record, it wasn't called a game shop. We just say a game shop.
like it's so weird. A lot of people like got into it with Virtue's Last Reward, which in terms of story elements, Virtue's Last Reward was a lot more like gripping than 999 was. 999's kind of like your first spoonful of mystery thriller. And then Virtue's Last Reward is like taking the full bottle and shoving it in your mouth.
Yeah, the story was definitely more ambitious, and there were more twists and consequences. That the 999, like I said, I do recommend playing that game, but it is definitely smaller in terms of scale and scope. Um, some people actually prefer 999 over Virtue's Last Reward. One thing I do like about 999 is I actually like the art style to the game with the character drawn sprites, and I love the fact that the rooms look like PlayStation 1 FMVs from old survival horror games like Resident Evil and stuff. Um, it looks dated, but it has that weird semi nostalgic look to it for me.
Hmm.
That's good H2O. So, how did the third game get funded? I never found out. I
Okay,
was just excited that the game was coming out, period.
it involves an anime. You see, Uchi Kochi made an anime.
Really?
That anime is called Punchline. It's about a guy
Oh my
who
god.
who becomes Danny Phantom and
Memories are
turns
coming
into a
back.
ghost. But he has a problem. If he sees underwear twice, the world explodes or something like that. And then he gets sent back in time and has to repeat all of his stuff while trying to avoid seeing women's underwear. But as it turns out, like I said, that's like that just sounds like your standard like etchy show. No, no, no. Uchikochi made this, so it gets deep.
Huh.
But considering how it ends, and this is Uchikochi himself saying this, the anime ending is not the true ending because the game's coming out for it that will have the true ending. So a lot of people see that the entire anime is a trailer, which means he's going to have yet another game coming out. And I don't know if we'll get Punchline over here, considering it's
Actually,
undertones.
I argue that you probably could get Punchline over here. I'm probably going to do another Great Era video, but after this, sometime in the future. But I'm going to be talking about niche Japanese gaming, especially ones that heavily focus on stuff that 10 to 20 years ago you would never see localized here, somehow making their way. Have you ever heard of a rail shooter by the name of Galgun?
Yes, I'm still surprised that it gets made and comes over here.
Yeah, Galgun Double Peace. Its sequel, at least, is coming out next July.
Mm,
And the company's bragging about how they didn't have to make any altercations to the game. So it's going to be uncensored. It's going to be as raw as the Japanese version.
I like the emergency button that's you pressing it and then turns into an old school NES game whenever your parents walk in the room. No, no, I'm just playing this 8-bit adventure game. No, not those weird moaning noises you heard from my room. They're not coming from this TV.
Okay, are you being serious right now?
Yes, I do believe
I
that
gotta see
exists.
gameplay of that. After
Let
this video, you gotta show me.
Okay.
Oh my god, you just made me want to pre-order the game more because of that. Because that just sounds so silly and stupid. But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Punchline or heard about it, but after hearing the premise, it sounded so stupid. I just wanted to never see it again. But I had no idea Uchikosi was involved in it. You
Yeah,
Google
he's
his,
the main
you
story
Google his
writer.
name. One of the things that pop up is fucking Punchline in the search recommendation bar. I was like, I just looked at it right now through my phone. Um, wow, wow, okay.
Yep.
And if that had anything to do with the funding for Zero Time Dilemma, kudos to him. I seen a bunch of trailers for Zero Time
Whoa,
Dilemma.
whoa,
What?
whoa. there's a more important thing he's done. Wow, I didn't even realize this.
All right.
Uchikochi designed Pepsi Man.
Bullshit.
Yes, it says it right here on his Wikipedia. He was the 3D modeler for Pepsi Man back in 1999.
Oh my god. The more I learn about this guy, the more awesome he comes off as.
And in 2003, he apparently released something that's just titled Unknown
Unknown
Erotic
erotic
Visual
novel.
Novel.
Now everyone's gonna scour the internets and Akihabara to fucking find out what that unknown erotic visual novel is.
He has a panel at I think one of the cons that's happening this weekend. I think it's AX,
Oh, well.
which
Anime
is
Expo?
yeah, and he's like, I have a panel. Uh, what should I do on it? And one of the first responses, tell us what this was, and has a picture of the unknown erotica game.
Wow. Just wow. Oh, another thing I love about Zero Escape, and I am going to get a little controversial here because I'm going to be taking a stab at a game developer company that people are loving nowadays. But unlike a Telltale game, your choices actually do matter, and they actually lead to radically different endings.
I'm actually starting to think that's why like the episode format for Telltale games is so like confining for them because they feel like they have to keep characters alive through multiple episodes. Then it just gets very
Here's the thing, I do love The Walking Dead season one, and I did somewhat enjoy The Wolf Among Us. But the thing is, for a game that has like multiple decisions and shit, I wanted to make it feel radically different. But the games are so goddamn linear to the point where if you like look back and see what choices you made and see how you could have done things differently, the results are still going to be the same. Whoever you save at the end of The Walking Dead episode 1 is going to die in episode 3. Whether you choose to save a certain character in episode 2, he's going to get a fucking brick full of salt to the head and die anyways. And shit like that annoys me. I mean, if you're going to be a linear game, that's great, but don't pretend to tell me that, oh yeah, the choices will have a drastic effect on your story. And I'm like, no, man. See, the thing I love about games where there's multiple passing decisions is that it heightens replay value to see how things could have played out differently and how it leads to point A or point B or point C, which they don't go down. They don't even go down the same direction. Point A could come westbound while point B could have gone eastbound. I the thing I'm going to look forward to, hopefully in Zero Time Dilemma, is how horribly these characters are going to die in different situations.
oh yes.
That's
I already told you I have a goal in mind when I play the game.
uh, hopefully it isn't as bad as I think it's going to be. But yeah, I definitely do like what I've seen from the trailer so far. The game definitely looks like it has a bigger budget because they're using CG models more fully instead of just in a visual novel format. And I definitely like Zero's steampunk bird design in this game a lot, as opposed
Hmm.
to the creepy gas mask and a black raincoat as he had in the first two games.
It's kind of funny because Uchikochi brought up how he's having a hard time keeping that look relevant. It's like I just sometimes I completely forget that they look like that for a reason. So I'm like, okay, yeah, everyone wear these robes. Yes, because
I don't know, man. Steampunk Birdman won't age because steampunk is still a freaking it's still a freaking big movement in nerd culture. I mean, I've still seen steampunk booths at the artist alley when we went to Louisiana this year. So, um, Well, he gives me a steampunk bird vibe. Did he give you the same thing? I mean,
Well, he's a plague doctor.
okay. Well, makes sense if you know the context of the story.
Yeah.
Um, I guess we could transition. Who are your favorite characters in 999 and VLR, and who are you looking forward to in ZTD?
Well, see, it's kind of funny. I'm trying to decide on who I'm going to like more. I already told you my game plan with playing through it first is I'm going to try and create solid Sigma,
Yeah, okay.
but I don't know. E- like emo Junpei sounds kind of cool too.
Grumpy
It's
Jumpy, you
like
mean?
yes, grumpy jumpy. He's like I've just had it. I'm tired of of these games.
All right, I'll go first. For 999, my favorite character was actually Seven. He kind of looked like a longshoreman employee, but it turns out because of how ridiculous he was dressed. I mean, he had like an orange overalls and stuff, but it turns out he was actually a cop that was tied into an incident that's in relation to 999. The first notary game, basically. I thought that character was actually pretty cool. Of my favorite character, Virtue Slash Reward, ooh, I really want to say either the main character you play is Sigma himself or K, the guy in the gas mask.
Oh, what you didn't
Because
like
I love the fact
Steel?
I love the fact that when he was shocked, every time he had a surprised look on his face, he had that weird Home Alone Kevin McCulkin expression face that
Yeah.
now Deadpool has, which makes it even funnier. For Virtue Slash War, I'm definitely looking forward to see how Sigma is in that game. He's the only character that seems to be the most relatable in from what I've seen from the gameplay. Um, Least favorite characters in nine for the three games. Back to 999, my least favorite character would have to be. I'm going to say really, it's hard to hate any of those characters, except for the ninth man. I forgot his name, but
The one who's completely irrelevant in the
yeah.
cuts.
I guess because I really don't hate anyone that much in that game, I'm just gonna say the ninth man. Uh, Virtue's Last Reward. This is pretty obvious if you're a fan of the franchise. Dio, he's such a dickhead, dude, and
Dioda.
no relation to Dio Brando, though I can understand they're both assholes. Um, And the character I'm probably going to hate in Zero Time Dilemma, I forgot her name. She's the tan skinned woman who in the trailer she's portrayed to be very psychotic yandere ish.
Mira.
Yeah, Mira. Um but who knows? Maybe it could change my mind. Character development. Yeah, there are there are people in this game really. Um all of them have backstories that do get you somewhat invested, and it does tie into the main plot. So there's probably a reason why Mira was captured along everyone else. I mean, we know why Junpei, Akane, Zero, and Fire there.
But come on, you're not excited for Carlos? He has the ultimate potential.
Is that the guy with the really dorky looking face?
No, that's Eric.
Uh,
Uh,
okay, because I remember
Car.
everyone looking. I remember everyone seeing Eric's portrait, and they're like, "Oh my god, there's something untrustworthy about the expression on his face."
It's like Carlos is the one with Junpei and Akane.
Okay. Yeah, that character
Cause
looks pretty cool. But like I said, because I've gotten attached to Sigma and Five from Virtue's Last Reward, I want to play at least try to get some of their route done first.
yep, that's my goal too. If I don't get the correct, the correct marks to get solid Sigma, I will be disappointed in myself. Um, I don't know. In terms of hated characters, okay, if you want to hear something funny,
All right.
you know who's my most hated character in 999?
Who?
Clover.
Yeah, I figured you were gonna say that.
I I hated her, and you know why.
Why? Oh well. Wait. It'll be spoiling the game, but yeah, I know why. Never
Yeah, yeah.
mind.
And when I saw her back, I'm like, no, not you again.
Why she look
No,
like a Valley Girl, Yoko?
quit trying to flirt with me.
Uh, goddamn, I forgot what I was gonna mention. God, I'm blanking out. I was gonna bring up something else until you brought up, your least favorite character. Uh, One of the things I did not like about 999 is it didn't have a flow chart like Virtue slash Reward. So replaying those puzzles, even though I knew what to do, it was still kind of tedious.
Mm,
It's like every time you start the game, you still have to escape that room that's flooding. And I'm like, oh my god, okay, get the key cards. Here's the key under the bed. Check the bed sheets. Blue, blue, blue. I'm gonna look something up here. Yeah, that was a weird transition, but yeah, you had to replay all those rooms. And the thing about Virtue Slash Ward is that you can, get over that tediousness and just move on to the story. Because even if you were to fast forward everything you already know, and get to the stuff you haven't explored yet, it would still add a good, 3 to 5 hours of your time. Which, by the
yeah.
way, if there's any Western developers that like to take the visual novel route and like to have a game with branching stories and outcomes, a auto skip an auto skip button which allows the player to skip whatever they already know about or have explored is your best fucking friend.
Yep. It's one of the reasons why visual novels can work out so well.
Yeah. Actually, this game did change my perspective on visual novels. I used to hate them not because I think all of them are dating sims, but because I just didn't like the idea of, all right, read text, press X, press A, probably gonna have to watch all this shit again. Versus S4, not only where I was like not going because the story was so interesting, but I was able to get through all the shit I already know about. Which is why I decided to pick up the Steins Gate video game and not watch the anime yet.
Hmm.
By
I
the
was
way,
doing that too,
Steins.
but I don't have $30.
Actually, I think there's a flash sale for that game. You gotta check.
Ooh.
And it's digital
Okay.
only anyway, so, like, it's best to get a digital discount if you're a PS Plus member.
It's kind of funny because I was about to consider watching it.
Um, on a similar note, Steins Gate Zero I heard just got announced, so I don't know when that's coming out, but I'm still playing the first Steins Gate.
It's good. Good game.
The funny thing
Um.
is, even though there's not many video games that are basically escape rooms, there are actually real life escape games.
Oh, yeah, so we're going to bring up how we murdered one of
We
our
bring up,
friends.
we'll bring up the fact that yes, we participate in a real life escape game, at your at a local city in Baton Rouge, or where you lived. But
Yes.
I am not going to give out details on how we played through it because A, I'm pretty sure we signed that in the waivers. And
Yeah.
B, just because we know somebody locally in Louisiana that listens to our podcast and wants to go over there and try to go for breaking records because they got spoilers from us, I don't want that shit. We're kind of competing against an unknown group of people. That and I want to go back because we still got like 2 rooms to go through.
Yep. It's gonna be weird doing it again though. I don't feel it won't feel as legitimate.
Hmm.
Also 40. Also that doing two would be like $40.
Hey
Then
man,
do time though.
hey man, I got.
Um.
I'll save up the money. I mean, that shit's just fun. That shit's just straight up fun when we know when we're doing at least. Um, Anything else we can add?
Well,
Because I was aiming for this podcast to be an hour, but we might be able to cut it short.
let's say I if we're trying to go spoiler free, I already said the piece I wanted to, but I can talk about uh the the way this was all presented to us and Uchikochi himself and the big the special reveal he did at I can't remember what convention he was at when he actually revealed the game. But I just find it funny that it took uh making a successful anime to get the Zero Escape series finished. Um, the panel he was talking. I
Hmm.
actually had the creator of Danganronpa there. Apparently, those two are friends.
That would make sense because if you played a certain part in Danganronpa 2, um, where you play as Nagito for a limited time, there actually is a game that's pretty much an homage to Zero Escape. You remember what I'm talking about, right?
Yep,
Right down to even having a bunny rabbit in the room. Uh,
it was more
the
funny when
games
I
are
found
very
out he's
similar to each other, and they even have similar plot twists. But
and they're
I'm
both
blown
made by the same
away that
company.
while Danganronpa, I assume, is pretty successful in Japan because they got a whole bunch of sequels and manga spin-offs and a couple anime adaptations coming
Plenty of
soon.
waifus.
I'm kind of disappointed that Zero Escape did not get that equal amount of love, even though I love Danganronpa. I think the Zero Escape franchise is a little better.
Yep.
It's more thinking man's for me.
Like and yes, it does have its fan base in Japan. They were actually pretty mad when it was rumored the U.S. is getting it before Japan. They were like, "How dare you betray us, Uchikochi? You're betraying your own country and people and catering to filthy Westerners."
You should have bought more copies of the game. Okay, now I remember what I wanted to talk about earlier. Did you ever play? Well, not play, but did you ever check out 999 the novel?
The one that's the thing with just the story and not the puzzles.
Yeah,
I haven't yet.
I
I was
haven't.
go-
I haven't either. I don't know if I will, but they made some changes to that compared to the video game. They actually made some storyline changes.
Hmm.
Nothing too big. And they even added an extra ending, but it was kind of stupid. That ending, I actually looked it up to see what it is. It's not that interesting.
It's a joke ending.
No, well, I don't know if it was considered a joke, but it would still make you hate Clover.
Ah, okay. That's all you had to say.
uh, um, like I said, I don't have anything else to say other than our community never really talks about this franchise at all. I don't. I've actually tried to push this game on the Magus a whole bunch of times. He just him and his huge ass JRPG backlog. If he ever gets around to actually doing it, like he promised in his summer JRPGs, he won't be able to try the game out. Even though I think you'll love it. Um, you know, Operation Rainfall. I don't think they talked about that game either. Even though they're pro niche Japanese gaming and they're pro visual novels. At least a couple of them are. Um, there was another podcast I listened to. It's called the Vita Lounge, which is a spin-off of the Shin Megami Tensei network. They're the only people that talked about Zero Time Dilemma. um, but yeah, it's a game that definitely needs more love. I mean, technically, and I don't think people will be steered off of it just because it's a visual novel. When you think about it, most handheld games are visual novels. Most JRPGs have visual novel elements. Phoenix Wright, most of it is a fucking visual novel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, most of Persona is a visual novel. Most of the JRPGs that don't have that much animations and they rely on text and character art to progress to tell the story, Visual novel.
Mm.
Hmm.
Ooh, interesting. Apparently, the game for Punchline comes out in Japan in August.
Hmm.
Wait, no, not August. It's out already.
Oh,
Um, came out
I don't know. Write a letter to Xseed to get
April.
them to get this game out.
No, I don't trust the Exceed with them.
Why don't you trust Xseed?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's just I don't know if they will get how perfect these characters are. I don't want any like changes because you know how people are getting nowadays.
Dude,
So
Xseed,
afraid.
like, if you want a video game to come out as raw as you can, Xseed's one of the companies to go through. You don't want it to bring. You're thinking of NISA because they're the ones
In,
who make
in,
a whole lot
you
of
know what? Maybe I am. Okay,
because they're
actually
the
no.
ones who make a couple of
Exactly.
civil liberties, and they've announced that they're making some severe alteration. Well, not severe, but they're making a bunch of alterations to Criminal Girls 2. Yeah, that got
Oh
announced.
yeah. Okay. It is NC. I don't know why I was thinking Exceed.
No, Xseed, I trust them. Maybe their dubs aren't that good for some people. I never had an issue with them thus far, but but when it comes to translation and localization, they can't really tamper with anything. And even if they have to make alterations due to ESRB guidelines, they might not just localize the game after all because they know their audience doesn't like that shit.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
So Punchline is a company actually is a company I would have faith in and adapting Punchline. Anyone else? Maybe Dejika if Galgun turned out well or something.
Algun has its dedicated fan base. I'm not worried about that.
Hmm.
Another funny thing I saw is there was a abrupt gameplay trailer that showed 9 minutes of Zero Time Dilemma.
Funny thing is, I saw the cutscenes, but I did not see the gameplay because I did not want to immediately know how to solve that puzzle. I just
Oh
fast
yeah,
forward through it and get to the cutscene.
I skipped that too.
Yeah,
Um,
I skipped to the part where it shows off the thing that was foreshadowed in one of the first promo artworks, which is Sigma tied to an electrical chair with a gun in his head.
yep.
By the way, awesome artwork. I love how this game has more of a Saw vibe to it than the other two.
Yes, I know this is a weird thing coming from me, but I actually enjoy the Saw movies. A lot of people don't.
I'm not
I don't
really.
see them as like, I don't think it's like, oh, Saw is the best thing ever, and you're not like seeing the super intricate things of Saw. No, Saw is ridiculously stupid, but that's why I can enjoy it because it's ridiculously stupid. I don't feel like super connected to any character in Saw. They're all just beat bags that are only made to go squish.
I got a similar confession. You know the Final Destination film series.
Oh yes, I like
I
that
feel
too.
the
It's a
exact same
comedy.
way. I went to see Final Destination 5 in 3D no less with a friend of mine. And I was just yucking it up at how stupid some of the character deaths were. I mean, after one of the characters died via Buddha statue to the skull, my friend and I looked at each other, and my friend goes, "God damn, this is an itchy and scratchy cartoon."
uh, it's going to be interesting to see some of these like picks
Well, how do you feel
because
about the change in art style? They don't have the artist. I forgot. I think it was a she who worked
well,
on it.
okay, for one, I'm getting this game for the 3DS for the sole reason of I kind of like all my games in a series on the same system, and 999 was never available for Vita.
I'm getting mine on the Vita.
Yes, you get that great HD graphics, but for me
It's
the graphics
okay. I'm
doesn't.
pretty sure the Steam version's going to be the most superior,
Yeah.
unless it finds out that it has a 30 FPS lock.
Also, 999 is going to be on Steam, so if you want to try
Yeah,
it
if
there.
you have a Steam account, if you don't have handhelds, I mean, if you're a PC gamer, then I pick up that game.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if Virtuous Last Reward is on Steam, but they need to put that on Steam too.
Yeah, if they can get all the game on Steam, it'll definitely boost up sales
Hmm.
for that game as a whole. Um, but no, my mind was going somewhere.
We were
Um,
talking about getting it for the 3DS.
but yeah. And even though the graphics aren't going to be great, I knew it wasn't going to be like super amazing detailed graphics because, and even with the dub, they didn't really put a lot of effort into properly lip syncing everything because they were on such a like tight budget. If you play the game in
Yeah, I
Japanese,
see it.
it'll smooth a lot. The dialogue will go a lot smoother than it will be when you play it in English. But I'm gonna play it in English because I played all the other games in English, and I don't want to disappoint the fun yip nap. Uh,
The full what?
I don't even know how to properly say it. Full yip narp. It's a joke in 999. Maybe you missed it.
Oh well, just give you a little bit of trivia. There actually is better lip syncing in Virtue's Last War because there is no Japanese audio language. In the Vita version, the lip sync is off to the point where characters would say three syllable words, but they'll open their mouth flap once.
Yeah, but that's kind of fine because for Virtue's Last Reward, uh, it's it's so visual novel based like dialogue. You aren't really paying attention to the mouth flaps, but for
Zero Time to Love it. There's definitely
Zero
cutscenes
Time
there.
Dilemma being a cinematic experience, the cinematic experience needs to be good.
And by cinematic, I mean like TV anime because there's not that much. There really is not that much in the animation department
On
either.
the last time on Scooby Doo, the gang sure got in some trouble.
um, but I didn't ask about which version you were gonna get. I was asking about the fact that they changed artists.
Wait a second, I just realized something.
What? Are you dodging a question? My question.
The no, no. When I'm making the Scooby Doo comparison and I'm looking at all the old Zero Time to Limit characters, they shoved Freddy, Velma, and Daphne into one box. Talking about Sigma's box.
Oh,
And then they shoved Shaggy and Scooby, Junpei and Akane in a different one.
okay. But anyways, like I said, they changed artists for the game. Like the artwork that's been shown in this game is a lot darker looking and a lot creepier. It's definitely done by a different person, not
Yeah,
from the
but
same person. I forgot her name. I forgot what else she worked on. She worked on Code of Princess, which is a side-scrolling hack and slash I have for my 3DS.
yeah, that was. I'd have to look up her name too.
Yeah, you look it up while I also look it up because but yeah, I'm picking my copy up for the Vita. You're picking yours up for the 3DS. My friend splurged money on a 3DS for this game, but he was pissed to find out it was also coming out on Steam.
I could see that.
It's okay. I've been down a similar road,
Hey,
which is why I rarely import games.
hmm at least the 3DS has a. Looking at the artist, Kinu Nishimura. There's an artist named Bingus and Tetsuo. I think it's Kinu who's the one who's worked on 9 Hours, 9 Person, 9 Doors, and
All right.
Code of Princess. Let me check.
Yeah, that name sounds more familiar to me than anything else.
Apparently, does a lot of work for Capcom.
Yeah, I know that. I know that much. From listening to another podcast. Let's see. Apparently, she. Let's see what she worked on. King of Dragons. She did the in-game character portraits of Saturday Night Slam Masters. Some promo art for Street Fighter 2, Cyberbots, Dungeons and Dragons Shadow over Mystara, Rival Schools, Street Fighter 3. Okay, and people know how much I love those games. Yeah, she's pretty big in the Capcom community. So yeah, she worked on the artwork for the first two games, but they got someone else in the third one. Doesn't bother me at all though. I actually like the darker route that they're going for because they're obviously going more to their 999 roots.
No, they're going to exceed the 999
I
roots.
sure hope so. Because I want to feel guilty for my decisions.
Yep. And it's going to be impossible to save everyone. But I
Well, are there even people in there worth saving? Because remember, in the first two games, there were assholes that probably
well,
weren't that seemed trustworthy at first, well, except for Dio, but they turned out to be scumbags.
I mean, you have in cube room looks like it's just a room full of people who are bipolar and schizophrenics. I don't think I'm going to worry about that room too much.
I got nothing else. I'm ready to wrap it up. Are you ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, I think we
All right.
said everything there needs to know. That isn't a spoiler.
Well, like I said, the Zero Escape franchise, 999, what was it, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors? Or am I getting that all shuffled up?
Nope, that
Okay.
is correct. 9 hours, nine
Zero
persons, nine
Escape,
doors.
Virtue's Last Reward, and Zero Escape, Zero Time Dilemma. I think they're all really great games. They definitely changed my perception and interest in visual novels. They're really good, puzzle games. Um, Stories are interesting, and like I said, Virtuous Last Reward set up heavily. I mean, it's set up heavily for Zero Time Dilemma. I can't explain why, because that would spoil Virtuous Last Reward. But it was a game I've been waiting for years, just as much as I've been waiting for Persona 5. So I'm glad this game's coming out, and I hope to have it in my hands in 2 days. And once I do, I'll be blitzing through within hopefully a week or two. Um, and I'll try to get a platinum trophy on it. I mean, I got a platinum trophy on VLR, so it shouldn't be that hard. Your turn to sum things up.
Mm, I'm going to just tear through this game as fast as possible and revel in all my horrible decision making.
So that's all we got. Make sure you can. As for future videos, like I said, it's all random at this point. Some streams. Gonna be talking more about some great eras of gaming and stuff. And I don't know. Maybe if if Concept could get their heads out of their asses, Windzer can ironically stream Mighty Number 9 on his
Yes,
Xbox.
and you can all laugh at me and my bad purchasing decisions.
It's okay. You're not the only one. You and $4 million worth of customers.
Upside, no one will feel like scrolling through the credits to find my name, so.
Yeah, well, you gotta be like me and actually, put money into anime Kickstarters because I'm hyped for the Riding Beam Blu-ray that's coming out soon.
Mm.
And I know that's coming out because it's from the same company that did the Bubblegum Crisis Blu-ray, and I definitely put my money into that. But you won't find my name in the credits, maybe. I don't know. It's buried in there. All right. So that's all we got. Leave a comment if you wish. This is Darkscream217 signing out.
Yes, sir. Get you later.
Take care.